Top of the day to you folks. We are back to continue with our series. We are trying to achieve excellence in customer care in our health facilities. In our previous video, we looked at the introduction to customer service. We are going to continue right from where we left off. We'll start this particular session with a little insight to the services that we render to our clients in the health facilities. Now, the services that we render can be considered as something that is intangible. At the end of the day, when the customer leaves our health facility, whether they are content with whatever we render to them has certain factors that need to be considered. And so we usually say that the service that we render to patients in our facilities is intangible. Now, some of the intangible elements that we usually look at are the fact that the customer has to be satisfied. In terms of satisfaction, there is no way to touch satisfaction, and so there is no way to quantify it. But then everything that happens in the facility put together will let this customer feel satisfied or not. Our attentiveness when the client walks into the facility to access our services or approach us as health care workers, that cannot be touched. But at the end of the day, it's measured in one way or the other. How our service flows from the moment the client enters the facility, how they get their registration through to when they leave the facility is the flow of work. That cannot be touched as well, it's intangible. But then it also adds up to whether the customer will be satisfied or not. Whether we are courteous to them. Courtesy is not something that can be touched. But at the end of the day, our customers expect that from us. How understanding we are. And so understanding is one other element which is intangible in the service that we render. And it's important that we take a cue and then look at how we put ourselves in a position to make the customer satisfied and leave our facility very happy with our services. Even though these things are intangible, we need to put ourselves into the work that we do and make sure that the customer get the best from us. There are aspects of the services that we render, especially in the health facility, and we also need to pay particular attention to two particular aspects in the services that we render. The first aspect of the service is the procedural aspect. The procedural aspect can also be named as the subject matter knowledge. So in this case, if we were to go back to some statements that we used to make in the past, we would say that enoye bukumunyansa. That is a subject matter knowledge, the knowledge that we acquired from wherever we got our education from. That is what we are taught to do. The other aspect, which is the second aspect, is the personal aspect, and we call that one profound knowledge. The profound knowledge or the personal aspect is not taught in schools, but then they are, at the end of the day, it's the behaviors or our attitudes, the verbal skills, how we interact with them. All that put together is a profound knowledge. There is no particular subject in school where we will teach you the attitude you are supposed to put up. But at the end of the day, we are dealing with human beings. We expect to be treated a certain way when we are accessing services. And so in the same way, the clients that access our services in the health facility expect to be treated the same way. And that is where the profound knowledge can be exhibited. How we use our verbal skills to interact with the patients that come to us. There are categories of service, and these categories can also be categories where we as the health staff can place ourselves. By the time we go through the categories, we would be able to tell where each of us fall into. If it's a place where we need to work on our category, then we actually need to put in work and then make sure that we move ourselves from that category into the category that ensures quality customer service. There are 4 main categories. The first category is called the friendly zoo. Friendly zoo. Now, people who fall into this category are very bad in procedural services or the subject matter knowledge, but they are good in personal service. When it comes to using their verbal skills to interact with other people, they are very good there. But when it comes to the actual work, the procedures, that is where they fall short. And so these are the kind of people, when they come to work, more often than not, you see that they don't sit at one place. When you get to know them, they will go to every department. And most of the time, what they do is that they are interacting. They are very good at that. They quickly make friends and they are able to interact very well. But unfortunately, when it comes to sitting down to do the actual work, they fall short there. So they compensate by, using their good verbal skills to interact very well with everyone. And into your baby, ha, akosia, na enra me pon ya me kofi no ase me hu se wona market, La Paz market. Aden wona odi bia na, o da bi. E ho mo ne o board dodo. I have try Kanishi market shade. From there, obekwa another department. Ama, eno na ju timi hwe the show no mu yi wo UTV ni bi. Ah boy, yi pan e friend Alejandro yi dey more din into why say one ware girl. You'll be able to talk, recap everything that happened in the show with the colleagues. Obey sir, by the time obet na se so baby adwuma no, ibi ko na 12 abo. Kokwasa is a ball 1 o'clock at time and so no asan time the bag no akra the colleague. When me to ade o market haba sisi am panyufo ni fi so si fam aka cho mo se be gi ade o gate aba. Almost so mo de no. They are called the friendly zoo. In the internet they say they will use their good interpersonal relationship to be able to make the work flow in a way. But when it comes to the procedural knowledge, they are weak in that area. There is the other category which is called the factory. The factory category are the people who are very good in the procedural services, the subject matter knowledge. But when it comes to their personal services or the personal knowledge, so this is about the work. It's about procedure. Mame, ahana me car setna na kuhu doctor. I didn't also you free ho. Here na me sitting at na kwa until some babe fro. Ehwa na also tna. That is DS. They follow everything to the letter. They go by the book. And it's a ban of personal interaction that don't expect or know what best say you. So they are the kind of people that you don't go and see and say that Sandra, with the many problem be open and feel so bit me aboa me. Masia ba bestra me weekend use me duty. Anything keep it to me and come a person come no swap say the way about me duty na me do me the so am ayama. Man ka wanu nsikura no aka cho say Sandra mpacho obi ani ni lane obi anye na djuma. Mempe abodi akeka bia. So DS is about by the book. They go by the book. They don't want to do anything out of the book so that they run into problems. So yes, they are good in the procedure. They will do everything that has to be done to make sure that the customer get the services that they need. But when it comes to their personal relationship, there's a big problem over there. Now there are those who are called the freezer, and that is the third category. The freezers are those who are low in both knowledge areas. So personal knowledge is bad. The procedural knowledge or services is also bad. And into your friend say kusi and kusi, koda and koda. It's like everywhere you fit them. And kuyi. And they are the ones who are more often than not, we can consider them as the bossy ones. And into oba juma na say oba be see akunwem ewo department or is a bosom. Yeah, the understand junior colleagues no be small one. And most of the time the junior colleagues will also come up with names for such people. PSO or bad offices here no muta kwan no mu so ba mu si karishika na yi leti a oba no. And into to hono uyi na ni kakra bi junior officer fe na chikura bu so why ni say, because we feel say oh no why no ho magajia o medi djuma bia And into procedure na unim papa, and into one fan hunim. About a personal relationship, that's why it doesn't go well. The near here as he there is that category too. And most of the time, those are the people whose motto is like, we don't care. The Ebeko should be and fire home. And I hear am put a bantia. And into found so about tenacity the whole day, not lift a finger. But some men know a book of craving, so they are the first people to start complaining, saying that I've been and those are the freezes. But this area is one category that we don't expect any staff to be in if we want to extend quality health services to our patients. The last category is what we are preaching about, and that is where we want all our staff to fall in: the quality customer service. This category of staff are excellent in both the personal and then the procedural dimensions. So when it comes to the subject matter knowledge, they are passionate about the work that they do, so they do it wholeheartedly. When it comes to the profound knowledge, using their personal communication skills to communicate with the patients, they are excellent in that area. And so we'd like to encourage you to encourage your staff as well to endeavor to fall into this category, because that's where we'll be able to extend quality health services to our clients. Now we look into the elements of quality service. There are elements that we need to pay attention to. The first element we are looking at is the fact that our services that we are rendering has to be reliable. It is something that has to be reliable. The customer needs to feel that at any point in time when they walk into your facility, they are going to be served by the technical experts in the facility, those who have the knowledge, those that they expect to see. There should be a doctor in the facility at all times. They don't want to walk into the facility at a particular time and be told that that time with the doctor be anyhow. It doesn't make our service reliable. So that is what they expect from us. They need assurance, and that is another area that we need to encourage ourselves in. We need to be able to reassure the clients that we work with. It is not like, hey, Oba, sao condition we the who be there. We must say the condition be say the usually a mobile one time check. Where they are in ye. That is not what they want to hear. They want to be reassured that no matter the situation, they want you to tell them that, oh, mame, nyabotre kan akoma to yem. Sa condition we who be pain. And no enti ne waha, muntia ne waha. Ye who be kro mo de cry waste chain with ye. Now so mu nyina ko fie. And enti kan akoma to yem. Ye be hwe pepepe. When you be drew head, no one here. And that is what they expect to hear from us. Now, the other element is about the tangible facilities that we have, the physical facilities, the appearance of even the personnel. Yes, in our previous video, we talked about the fact that some impressions are created. I mean, looking at what the client sees, they form certain impressions, and our physical facilities, the appearance of our staff, it plays a major role. We are human beings and we all form impressions. If you walk into a bank right now, but be a see one because I would seek a and the teller that you meet is someone what dignity, it be a color green or something. With Jana Bodri Sekuha, I mean, needless to say, how do you seek a coffee? So, if a client comes into the health facility, they expect to see that staff are decently dressed. Staff now about being no ejuma or how now why you facility now about being more ejuma no more Google hobasa why you fear. It doesn't speak well of us. And so the tangible facilities or logistics that we have should also be looked at and given particular attention. One other element of quality service is empathy. And this is where we need to put ourselves in the shoes of the clients that we are working on. Sometimes, because we are in the position of being health workers, we feel like we can shout on our patients anyhow because we are taking care of them and we are doing them a favor. oh maame tena ase na me de me nyɛ adeɛ no ntɛm no nyina yɛnya kwan ne yɛnsɔre nkɔnkɔ yɛ adeɛ a ɛwɔ sɛ mesan yɛ. Meanwhile, we need to put ourselves in their shoes. Not until recently when COVID came and we all needed to take vaccines. That time na mehu sɛ saa ɛba ne health workers wɔn a wɔn show paneɛ paa ɛyɛ nurses and doctors. Meanwhile, they are the ones who always administer these. Nurses no wɔn administer paneɛ no wɔn show paneɛ kyɛn obiara in our health system. And in the bus yɛn nyinaa yɛn kɔ wɔ COVID paneɛ no, come and look at them. They were shaking like, and some of them were sweating like pregnant fishes, all because there was more panic. Meanwhile, we shout on the patient because, hey, my maintenance is dinner for panic and no one will be welcome. We need to put ourselves in their shoes and feel what they feel. Say, yes, we need to say, and we definitely need to be responsive to them. Now, this is what you should know. There are 3 P's. 3 P's in the work that we do. As a customer service person, you need to understand these 3 P's. The first one is the place. You need to know your organization, the place that you work. It shouldn't happen, say, as a staff in a facility, client will maybe say, me pacho ye juma oha, madam, pacho ye juma oha, me pacho aha. Himfa na you renew insurance and aha himfa na you try x-ray and we for you as a staff to open your mouth and tell this patient say, oh me ye adwuma wo lab me nim say insurance bi ye adwuma wo ha and me nim baby kra ye fade call antenatal they be. You should know the place that you are working, the layout, everything, so that when you are asked any question, even though you don't work in that department where the question is being posed about, you should still be able to tell the client something and then refer them to go to the place and get further information if they need more. But you should know the place that you are working. So that is the first P. The other P is to know your customers. Know the people. After knowing the place, know the people who come to you. Know the kind of people that you always work with. The majority of them. Which category of people are they? What is their social status? Which religion mostly do they come from? When you know the people, you know how to conduct yourself, especially when you are working with them, because different people require different things. They have different expectations. Once you know them, you'll be able to adjust accordingly. The last P is the product and the services that you are rendering. So you yourself should know all the products that you are rendering. You should know if you have dental service in the facility you are working in. If you provide eye services, you should know. If you provide any extra service in the facility, physio department, if you have physio, you should be able to tell. So the client shouldn't ask you for you to tell the person that aha minimum say ye we or ha. You should be able to tell all the family planning methods that you render in your facility. You should know about it, so that you educate your clients accordingly. That is what customer service is all about. The other area we will look at is what the customer needs. Every customer needs something. When you as a person walk into your bank, there is something that you need. The customer who is also working into our facility needs something, and we should be able to tell what they need. There are 2 types of needs. They have social needs and then they have technical needs. Some of the social needs are very basic needs. And as human beings, we all have such needs. A basic need like calling the customer by their name is very important. So the customer shouldn't be referred to as, hey, mommy, when I'm a friend, mommy. No. At least they expect that you call them by their name. I mean, there are people who have certain titles, and in public gatherings, if you don't address them by those titles, they get offended. And so calling a customer by their name should be good enough. And that is one social need that they all expect. When you call them by their name, they also feel that they belong in the particular environment where they find themselves. They have one other need, that we offer fair and honest service to them. It's a basic social need. They expect that whatever services that we are rendering should be fair. They don't expect to see that we are treating other clients who are in the queue with them in a special way, and when it gets to their turn they are being shouted on. No, they don't expect that. So it's a need that we need to meet. They expect courtesy from us. Just as we expect courtesy wherever we find ourselves, our clients also expect courtesy from us, and we need to extend that to them. They expect that we show respect to them. Again, we said it in our previous video, respect is reciprocal. You expect that a patient that you are seeing shows respect to you. We need to show the same respect to them. Sometimes, you don't know where this person is coming from. They may be someone who has a lot of influence. ABB anything or PO in a condition that they find themselves. They appear vulnerable, but you don't know who that person is or what influence that person has. So we need to show the courtesy and the respect that they also need. One other need is that we listen to them. And sometimes this is lacking in our health system. We don't listen to our patients. As soon as they start talking, then we cut in. Yeah, man, no crazy, and then we are saying a different thing. But probably if we listen to what they are saying to the very end, we'll be able to know exactly what they need and do it for them accordingly. And they also need that we show a caring attitude to them. Very, very important. The other needs, the second aspect of the needs is the technical needs. Now, this is the subject area, the healthcare that we are rendering to them. They need counseling. We need to be able to counsel them, whatever condition they are coming with. This woman has come to your facility probably to access antenatal services and then give birth. Or mass sex data. We should be able to find a nice way of counseling them to access family planning services in a very nice way. Mommy, we are your family planning or her. Your methods be brave. May show so what it be once and you see. Your man will be now it in a yano crack. Or family planning, mammy, no better than us. You bet you no choosing method back one nice one. No, I am. So the bear with me to what won't take more control. It's good that we offer such counseling to them. It's a technical need and they need it, even though they may not see. It's not about so on one or pen or and into one to us one. At the end of the day, if they are not able to take care of their children, they become a burden to society, and it's a burden for all of us. So we need to be able to extend our counseling to them. There should be consistency in our service delivery, and it's a technical need. Anytime they come, they should be able to access the services. Even if it's a weekend, once we put on our signpost that we offer 24-hour services, that consistency has to be there. It shouldn't happen that at some particular points, no services, nothing is going on in the facility. But maybe during the day or on the weekdays, there is always service going on. There should be that consistency. If it's 24-hour service, it's 24-hour service. Whether it's a weekend, it's a holiday, services should be going on. Our speed and timeliness. Nobody expects to come to our facility and then spend the whole day at the health care facility. Because when we go to other places to access service, we don't expect to spend the whole day there. So they don't also expect to spend the whole day. It's a technical need, and we should be able to put in measures to ensure that the timeliness is met, and then the patients are able to leave in time after accessing our services. The accuracy in our procedures. We always need to be on point. The accuracy in information. There is nothing wrong if you ask for information from another colleague who you think has the right information. If you don't have the accurate information, don't give it, because you end up giving the wrong information that will pollute the whole system. So make sure that the information that you are giving to the client is accurate. And then the last technical need is for us to be able to provide solutions. They came with a problem, they expect solutions, and so we do our very best. If the rest is beyond us, we explain to the patient where they can get a continuity of service, and then we do the appropriate referral. We should know our customers. This is basic in customer service. Knowing our customers is knowing that there is only one boss, and that is the customer. The customer is the only boss. The customer is not the medical director. The customer is the boss in the facility is not the hospital administrator, it's not the head of nursing, it's not the regional director, it's not the director general. The only boss is the customer. Now he or she can fire everyone in the organization from the CEO downwards simply by spending his or her money elsewhere or by taking legal action. Once the client decide that, okay, so I am done with this particular hospital because they were rude to me, there's another hospital in another area, this is where I'll now means that we are no longer in business. If all our patients decide that they are going elsewhere, we are no longer in business. Again, in our setting, what it means is that you are going to be declared as a BMC of record. If it's not a private facility, if it's a private facility, then you mean that what it means simply is that we are shutting down. If the aggrieved customer decides that they are taking legal action against us, that also means that we are in deep trouble. At the end of the day, if we are compensated, depending on the quantum of compensation, it can take a huge toll on our finances as a facility. And that is still not good for us. So we need to know that our customers are the bosses in our facility. Folks, we'll bring the second part of our series to an end. It's a wrap. We meet again in our next video. Remember to share this video, like it, give your comments in the comment section, and also, most importantly, subscribe to this channel and turn on the post notification so that whenever we upload a new video, you have access to it. It's a wrap.